everybody. Sorry, we was having a bit of an issue.
We had a technical issue, sorry about that.
We did.
I'm just informing Facebook of how rubbish it is.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be us if we didn't have a few technical issues at the beginning of every video.
Oh, I'll be with you in a second.
Okay.
What a pain.
What a pain. Thanks for liking the video of us doing quite badly.
I pushed the button to say go live.
And nothing happened.
No, nothing happened at all. And then it seemed to show about 3 or 4 minutes of stuff that we didn't realise was live.
Got lots of comments already though.
Excellent.
On the video that we wasn't on. I'm sitting the wrong way around. That's because we was using a different program. Are we like Ant and Dec now? We never allowed to sit on the opposite side?
Oh, I don't know.
Does it throw people off?
Yeah, I think my camera, I don't know whether it swapped it or flipped it round.
Mirrored.
I'm not sure.
Mirrored. We're sitting the right way round for us.
Yeah, we are. So what kind of week has everybody had? I've had quite a lazy week, I'll be honest. I've done pretty much bugger all.
It's true. It's true.
I've not studied
Hey,
as much
Sean
as I
and
wanted
Marion,
to.
stop chatting to each other.
Oh, well, they're having a catch up.
Think they are. Think they are.
Excellent.
No smooching. We'll smooch if we want to, but the camera didn't say it was on.
Yeah, we didn't realise that was live.
That could have been much worse. Okay, we're gonna.
But that's on our OnlyFans account now.
Get your credit cards ready.
So yeah, we want to talk about ghosts, spooky stuff.
Yeah.
I can't get my page to.
No, it's all having a bit of a wobble now. Apparently.
If people have found it, we've got. Well, the screen says 3 people are watching.
You'll have to bear with us.
Andy says that's better. The feed now is better. Excellent. What that means is I took it off my laptop. I was trying to use Facebook's live stream how it's supposed to be, and it didn't work.
No, we were being grown-ups, and we tried to do it the proper way, the grown-up way, and it didn't work. And we've learnt a lesson now, so we'll go back to our lovely amateur way.
And I'm going to shut my laptop because it's doing my head in.
Stop it then. Don't do it anymore.
You can keep an eye on the comments.
Oh, I've got to find it first.
Right, let's do some quick introductions. I think we've got a few people tuning in now. If you've only joined us for the first time, my name's Alistair and I'm a mediumistic life coach and a Norse pagan shaman trainee, I think I'll class myself as at the minute. But a medium, a tarot reader predominantly. And to my right is my gorgeous Mrs. Penny. Do a full introduction, Penny.
Hi, I'm Penny. I'm an empath, I'm a doula, I'm a 3rd generation dowser, I'm an advanced master herbalist, I'm a Reiki master. It's
a long list.
Quite a long list. I'll stop about there. Try to find the video again.
So, excellent. So yeah, we want to talk to you about your experiences with the paranormal. What signs have you had? What signs do you think you've had? Do you think you're sensitive to it? Is there ways that we could advise you on meditation techniques that help with mediumship? I use a number of different meditation techniques, to be fair. But yeah, anyway, spooky stuff. So opening you up to the energy that's around you so that you can either read it, psychometrically,
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the word, from an object or from something that's potentially around you.
Yeah.
If we're being visited. I brought my tarot cards tonight as well. I actually put them on the table. I don't know why. But I think
well.
kind of like they asked me to, so I thought, well, I will do.
Maybe you need to do a reading then.
That's right, you're sitting right. Oh, so it's turned us the right way around now.
We are like Ant and Dec. We do have to sit a particular way, otherwise people get really confused by it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to get confused. I don't look like you.
I've got a little bit less of a beard. Not much, hence why we
That was
need
the only way you
bright
could tell
light.
Ant and Dec apart was one was shorter and the forehead was bigger. Was it? That sort of logic.
That was a subtle hint.
So yeah, so what do we want to talk about?
I had a little conversation with lovely Leah, and we were talking about spirits going through walls, or ghosts going through walls, which we all see
Walls.
in
Sorry, I had to do it.
movies and cartoons and things. And why does that happen? Oh, just by the by, when I went to the shop yesterday, the mystery machine was parked in the car park. I was going to take a photo, but somebody was sitting in it and I thought they'd think I was weird. But anyway, so do spirits travel through walls? Why do they travel through walls?
How?
How? I don't know how.
Who do they travel through?
Oh
walls?
my
Sorry.
God, it's one of them nights now.
It's going to be one of them nights. I've had
He
quite
started
some
off.
coffee.
Yeah, he started off all manic and hysterical, and now he's had caffeine, so this will be fun.
It's not. It's also the spiritual energy. You can feel people connecting when they start to come online.
Excellent. Well,
You
let's
feel the
hope we
buzz.
get no more then, because you'll be buzzing.
Yeah, if we hit 100 watchers, all of a sudden my head explodes.
Yeah,
Fair enough. Yeah, sorry,
that
carry
would
on.
be fun.
Slight tangent there, sorry.
Yeah. So, do they travel through walls? Yes, they do. And the reason why they travel through walls, sometimes, not always, but sometimes it's because a building has changed and it is no longer the same layout as it was originally. Or they are inhabiting a different property on to them, a different timeline, which doesn't resemble the building that they're in at all, that we're seeing them in. So they could be in a completely different shaped building, travelling from room to room through what they perceive to be doorways, but to us are solid walls. So that could be one explanation.
Buildings changing, redevelopments.
Yeah, or that they're not actually in a building and there was no building there and it was arable land or grass, just a grassy field that they were wandering along, and now somebody's plonked a house in the way and they might not be aware of us at all while we're freaked out as they glide across the room and straight through the wall. I just
Excellent.
thought that was a really interesting thing, and some people have experienced that. If you've experienced that, drop it in the comments.
I've got a question about that then.
Okay.
If that's the case, when somebody does, say, I don't know, a conversion on their house,
Yeah.
and they get reclaimed items from like a reclaimers or something, let's say they get something like,
Reclamation yard.
that's the word I was looking for, and then that item's got energy in it.
Yeah.
Might not necessarily be permanently going, but it kicks out every now and again. It would kick out energy that doesn't relate to where it is now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought I'd ask the question for you guys.
Yeah. So
yeah.
it might not be related to the building at all. Although in a lot of cases that energy isn't a physical representation of a person.
No.
But yes, it would hold energy for sure.
Yeah, like an image timestamp.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a bit difficult to get like a fire surround that's haunted and you put it in your house and you hear footsteps going across the... I'm not talking like that sort of stuff.
No, that would be a little odd, for sure. So yeah, so that conversation that we started, I mean, let us know. Stop all clicking on the video from earlier because we're going to delete that. We're all clicking on it and leaving little comments on it. And now I've lost you all completely in
We
the
inadvertently
comments.
made an accidental, like
Faux pas.
a blooper reel by mistake.
I think we might have done a bit. You
I think
caught
Anna's
us
here.
bickering. Right, let's do some hellos before we go any further. So, hey Danny, hey lovely Andy, hey Marianne, hey Sean. Who else have we got? I know
Tom.
Yep. It's sorry, my computer's having a little bit of a moment. See, it's gone. Right, let's
So which one are
come
you
out
on?
of that. It's opened something completely different. Talk amongst yourselves. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It keeps jumping back out of it. Okay, so I did see Anna. Hey, Anna. So yeah, let us know if you've experienced people travelling across your room, walking through your walls, or up and down stairs. We get quite a lot of energy. Energy is huge going up and down stairs.
It's a flow of house.
It's the flow of the house. It's also because where you put in a lot of energy going up and down the stairs.
Anne-Marie's just come on.
There's a rush.
Just
Hi,
waving.
Anne-Marie, I can see your little hand waving. So yeah, we have that as well. Ignore that one. That one's confusing me. The other thing is staircases in when you go to an abandoned house. Certainly something that I've experienced a lot. I'm just intrigued if other people's spidey senses tingle. So as an explanation, I could go into a room upstairs in a building, and then I have a feeling like I've dropped, like I'm falling, and that says to me that there was a staircase there that is no longer there anymore. Or I get the feeling of falling, but in a really strange, like roller coaster way, which says to me that the direction that the staircase is now has been changed.
So you feel the difference in the flow.
And I feel the difference in the flow, which happens a lot in older buildings, particularly if they've been converted into offices or new apartments where a building's been cut up into lots of different apartments and they jiggle all the stairs about. That can be like a little trip to the theme park for me.
It's a little bit like when we went to that museum in Hinckley then.
Yeah, and
Just
I
the
said
stairs at the
exactly
back of
that.
there.
The stairs just feel weird and wrong.
Yeah, and everything up there was moved around. That's an interesting place to go if you when we come out of lockdown.
I know somebody from that lovely place.
Yeah, if you're in Hinckley or round Hinckley.
The Haunted Museum, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good place. I've got a wheelchair there that's haunted, allegedly.
There is energy in that
Yeah,
wheelchair.
definitely. I sat in it.
I'm just not convinced it's necessarily the energy that is perceived to be there. Okay.
Could that be the the person receiving the energy is interpreting it differently?
Could be.
So in theory, it could be the same energy, but two people are picking up on it differently.
Or picking up on two different energies that are linked to it.
I was just thinking that you
Or
kind of
distracted by other energies that are within the building.
yeah.
If somebody's got a stronger connection to somebody else connected within the building, then they might be picking up on that energy or something from that energy.
Right. Yeah.
Because finding focus, particularly if you're somewhere where there's lots of different spiritual energy, finding focus to just focus on one particular person in one particular place and what they're trying to tell you, and
There was a lot of things in
communicate.
there. Active, though,
There was a lot of activity in there. I think I picked up activity in places where there isn't usually activity, rather than the general, this is where we get a lot. But I don't know whether that's because my focus was different or off,
No, I just thought it was a cool place.
or I picked it up differently. Yeah, I did. I'd quite like to go back again. So we have a message from lovely Marion. I can't read that. I'm not going to even strain anymore. You get old lady glasses. So I used to belong to a healing meditation group. One night the lady taking the meditation suddenly broke into a weird voice and a foreign language. I have to confess I was shit scared. Fair enough. I think we all would have
Marian
been.
language.
Apologies for the use of expletives. It's not even 9:30. We might have to bleep that out for the podcast. But
No,
to be
it's
fair, it was me that said it.
No, we won't.
When she came back to herself, she said she'd been taken over by a bad spirit. That's a worry. And disappeared for a while to close down properly again. You left and you never went back. Oh, bless your heart.
Blimey.
It freaked you out. Not surprised, to be fair. Even though I'm...
Tailing off,
yeah.
not speaking, leaving a dead spot and the sound. Sorry.
Sure, I'll delete that bit out. No, even though I'm used to contacting spirits, there's plenty of times that I get sideswiped by stuff that's unexpected. I think there should be a level of sensitivity to the group that you're with. I have quite a lot of issue with overzealous professed mediums who say really inappropriate stuff. I'm not going to say who the company was, but I did go on a hunt, an investigation with a quite well-known company, and the person who said they were aiming to be a medium, working towards being a medium, his method of calling out was really super aggressive. So aggressive that collectively the 30 or so people that were in the room when he called out all gasped. And there were some quite nervous people there, quite rightly too, as he said, the standard, if there's anybody there, can you come forward? Can you touch one of us? Can you make a sound? Can you knock? All of that was fine. And then he said, can you push someone? Can you pull their hair? Can you grab them by the throat and choke them? That is not an exaggeration of what was said. I don't think I've ever been so horrified that collectively everybody kind of went, oh! And I shouted at the man and said, that's really inappropriate.
Did anybody get strangled?
Dial that down. Nobody did get strangled, but for somebody that was professing to work towards greater sensitivity, there was no sensitivity to the living there, so it's not going to respond well with people on the other side. There's also an assumption that those that you're asking for a connection with aren't aware that they've passed. So I do have a little bit of an issue with, do you know you're dead? How long have you been dead? Did you die here? I would tend to approach that in a lot more sensitive way of, is this somewhere that you live? Are we in your home? Is this somewhere that you worked? Does it look different to the way it was before? Can you see a difference? Rather than making the assumption that somebody is aware, because we want contact and we want that contact to be strong and positive. And I think scaring the bejesus out of
asking
everybody.
an entity to strangle somebody's a bit much.
I did put in quite a hefty complaint, and actually during that investigation wandered off on my own instead.
Maybe he was just used to taking stag parties out on a fun ghost hunt or something like that.
He was quite a
Didn't realise there was gonna be a
vibrant
serious person in
personality,
the
to be
audience.
fair, and that there is an element of showmanship to doing investigations, because you want people to engage and you want people to feel like they've got their money's worth. And to be fair, I've been to a lot of places where sod all happened, because you can't force a connection. Maybe the spirits wanted a night off, or maybe they didn't feel comfortable connecting with the people that were there. So there is an element of we need to entertain. I get that, but there are different things. Try different methods of communication. Try some psychic exercises with each other, because that might be enough to draw energy in. But I think when you move towards forcing people to be afraid, that goes completely against everything. As far as I'm concerned, you certainly couldn't call yourself sensitive, because there's no sensitivity there.
No.
I'll jump off my little bandwagon now.
I was waiting for you to get off the ghost tour bash.
No, I've been to loads of fabulous investigations. I've been part of fabulous investigations.
There's a difference
And I
between going on a
love-
ghost hunt and an investigation.
Well,
Paying £45
it's
to stand in a
words.
room with somebody
that's
entertaining you is
semantics.
different.
It's semantics, yes.
No, they're paying
for
for a
me, going
service.
to those...
We're going to have an argument online now.
No, we're not. Not this week.
They're paying
Going
being paid to entertain.
Investigation. Yeah, there is. There's an element of entertainment. There is, but there shouldn't be an element of terror. It's nice to have adrenaline and a little bit of fear. That builds up energy. But there is no need to go and be terrified. I don't think. But I come from clearly a different train of thought then.
I'm not saying I want to go on an investigation and be terrified. That'd be good. I'd like to find something that terrifies me in the
I've been on a
spiritual
few.
sense.
I've been on a few like that.
But there's a difference between when you're going on a group tour and it's being hosted. It's entertainment. It's for the venue people. It's for the hosts.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's an investigation. It's different.
Yeah. As I
Have we
say,
had any other comments?
I think we did, but I have a little bit of an issue with finding them, because it keeps pushing me back to the video that went wrong. Right, inadvertent smooch.
So what else? There was another thing on there.
No.
No, the lady that was running the meditation, surely when you start a class, you've got a class and you've got people in front of you and around you and you've got your clients there.
Let me help you with that.
You-
Or class.
Class. They're there because you're the one showing them what to do. If you've not grounded, protected and secured yourself enough for yourself, then I'd be a bit well, probably why Marion didn't go back. But funnily enough, years ago, I got told by a Reiki practitioner that I was a psychic vampire and she would never ever give me Reiki ever again.
Shocking.
So since then, I've learned quite a bit about Reiki and become a master. So no, I'll give myself Reiki.
Well, you don't have to. That's...
Oh no. But it was a term I
Before we
never
were
heard
together,
before.
you came for Reiki.
Yeah.
And you said that you had been told you was a psychic vampire and that they couldn't give you Reiki. I think there was something else amiss to be fair why they couldn't give you Reiki.
They couldn't control, I draw too much energy.
What utter nonsense.
So yeah, so that kind of confused me, but not me as well. I sort of thought, what? What do you mean I'm draining you of universal energy? That's a bit much.
Well, your body's a conduit. It's not your energy.
So yeah, so I understand all that now. I know that she was full of shit.
Talking a little bit of nonsense. So we've got some new people up today. We've got...
Oh, she always did close down before she started each time. All right.
Clearly not. To be
Yeah.
fair, if she should have prepared herself before anybody else came to the meditation, because meditation is very different to having a psychic link, because a meditation is about clearing your mind, and a psychic link is about opening your mind. So she should have done a closing down before anybody even came into the room.
Yeah.
I shouldn't really comment because I wasn't there. But it would make me really uncomfortable, I think. I'm going to just start over again. Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst ourselves again.
Computers having
Yeah,
a little
clearly
bit
not
of
enough.
trouble.
Yeah, that's first and foremost. When it comes to mediumship and any of the sort of bits, if you're dealing with Reiki, it's understanding how that Reiki energy flows, where it comes from, where it goes, how it goes there, how it gets there. the same with mediumship. Understanding the energy that you're tuning into, how it moves, how it works, how it communicates with you. And it doesn't communicate with everybody the same way. I tend to be clairsentient, and what's the other one for images?
Voyant.
No, I don't see actual people. I see like...
That's the seeing. Clairsentient is feeling. Clairvoyant is seeing.
there's those
Clairaudient
ones
is
then.
hearing.
Getting all the big words mixed up tonight.
They're all
Need
Claires.
a stronger coffee, that's what it is.
There's lots of people called Claire.
So yeah, so I get kind of moments of time that rerun, or I'll get shown like it's like a section of a film, if you like. Or it can just be a case of, I feel like there's somebody else here. And you sort of get that feeling that there is somebody else there. But it's tuning into that, and it's when you understand how you're tuning into it, you need to understand how to not tune into it at the same time, and know how to put your do not disturb on. There's a lot of fancy words for it: closing down, securing yourself, cleansing, grounding. For me, it's like do not disturb. There's no, because it's me, I like to simplify things. So it is a case of that's when I'm tuned in. You turn the radio on, you want to listen to the radio station. Exactly the same principle.
Yeah.
But like I said last week, there is obviously times when have been interrupted by energies. So that was
It's
quite
slightly
fun.
more different. It's slightly different for me because I'm being an empath. I'm open more than not. It's a different kind of opening up with spirit communication, so I'm more open to the empathic part of it, hence why whenever I go to the supermarket it makes me really ill, because I'm picking up on everybody else's frustrated emotions.
Which does beg the question, why can't you stop that and protect yourself and ground and shield from it?
Well, I can, but
Did I put you on the spot?
no,
Or you reading
I
that?
could, yeah, I'm trying to find everything. I could completely close down, but there is a little element of I don't know what silence sounds like.
All right, so the hum of a crowd is normal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get that.
Kind of. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else. It's like having a radio on in the background constantly, but not.
That's just me.
But not specifically the voices. It's a hum of sensation, like a vibration.
Yeah, no, I get that. You guys understand that? Makes
And
sense.
not to have that
We're on number 7 now, so we can say anything.
would make.
If
To
you
be
guys haven't
fair,
figured out,
we
we're
say what we
mental.
like anyway. So,
Yeah, that's true. Things I have been looking into this week that have got me thinking, and you guys can have a think about it, is synchronicity. And how long humans and our patterns and times and dates and the synchronicity of things. And it's about the number of pendulums put or clocks hanging will eventually, apparently, always synchronise. And humans do the same thing in groups and crowds and things. And that's what I was looking into, was the synchronicities that are going on with humans at the minute, controlled by anything. One social media post about somebody who may have died will cause a ripple, and it all creates a pattern kind of logic. So yeah, it's quite interesting, sort of humans and the synchronicity. But it led from what's it called when you draw things to you? What's the other video I was watching? Attraction, law of attraction.
law of attraction.
And it kind of went from law of attraction to that, about kind of putting those requests out and having that thought of what you want, what you feel you need in your life that will help, or who, or the item, and then you're open to the energy guiding you to that, or that being drawn to you. So that kind of law of attraction sort of logic and synchronicity were the two were the two random topics that I chose to research this week.
It's been quite a deep week for conversations.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit. Do you think?
Well, it has been a heavy week. Some important bloke died.
Oh, let's not get into that.
Well, he did. And it's sad.
It is.
For the family and his fans.
It is sad.
If you're not family or a fan.
I'm not going to comment.
That's fine. That's all right. So yeah, what do you guys want us to talk about? We're just literally saying waffling. I don't know.
I'm happy to keep waffling. There's plenty of waffle
Well, yeah,
to
I
be
mean,
had if you enjoy waffle.
I have a story linked to the kind of law of attraction side of things and how energy from things can be drawn to people, and
Okay.
I don't think I told it, or did I tell it in week 2? I may have done actually.
Yeah, again, working on the assumption that I listen.
I don't know. Somebody tell me.
But they don't know what the story's about now.
It's about some old photos
I don't think so.
that were found in a car boot sale. Well,
You haven't.
About 20 years ago
No,
now.
you haven't.
Haven't I told that story?
No, you haven't told that on
We'll see.
here.
What do you guys want to hear about? Or maybe I'll just tell that story if nobody interacts.
Just tell that story while everybody else is preparing to tell us stories.
Right. Anyway, I'll tell this story. Okay. Without too much of the details, we'll kind of boil it down. Years and years and years ago, I was with an ex-wife at a car boot sale, and at the bottom of a box, we're kind of looking through this box, and it looked like the bottom of the box. And she noticed that it wasn't the bottom; it was a picture the other way up, but it was like mounted on card. And there was actually 3 or 4 wedding photos, different people, bride and groom, and then a family shot, like a big shot. And I like old photos purely because I like to just sit and read them and study them and feel the energy that's attached to them. So we did. We kind of did the deal with the car boot sale. We bought them, took them home, and was looking over them. On the back was a photographer mark. I think it was Barwell. They were taken by photographers in Barwell. So we bought them at a car boot sale in Hinckley. So Barwell was a village nearby. So we sort of decided to put them in the Hinckley Times and see if anybody knew who they were and see if we could reunite them. Nothing. Not a thing. Nothing come back from the newspaper at all. Weeks went by, and then my dad called me and asked if I'd still got those photos. And I said, yeah. Why? And he went, because your Granny Iris is in the front. She's one of the children in the front of the photo. So he sort of dug them back out and had a look, took them round and sat with Granny Iris and had a look at the photos. And she was one of the kids in the front of the photo, and it was a relative of hers. I'm not sure of the full details. So that's kind of how energy will find its way back.
Find its way home.
Yeah, because the photo was taken in I believe it was 1920 something, the early 1920 something. Then we'd have found it 2007, 2008. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where it had been in between. But yeah, we were just drawn to the photos. And we'd looked at the photos loads of times at car boot sales. I'm always nosing through stuff to sort of feel what energy's like in it. But no, we were sort of drawn to those.
Oh, you were drawn to them for a reason.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how energy, and that's what I was saying about law of attraction. So the link to the story was that law of attraction side of things. Family heirlooms finding their way back. Or not even heirlooms, just family item stories.
Yeah.
That's what we need, ancestry stories.
We do. We also need to, feels like a kind of jump away from what you've said, but we need to test the information that we get. Or in that case, you did test it because you said, I'm getting this, and you showed your family.
Mm.
And they validated the connection that you felt.
Yeah.
So testing's a huge thing. Just while we're waiting for more things to come in, if you've sent us a message outside of the comments. We might not be able to see it or respond to it because we're having some technical issues this evening. Hence why the pretty lights are off.
Oh, yeah.
But I do have a really interesting story. It might not be interesting, but I'll be intrigued what people think. So what are people's beliefs around spiritualism churches? For many years I attended the local spiritualist church for quite a long time. I actually didn't share that I was going with any of my family members. I had been informed by my mum that I was never to tell my dad for whatever reason. She said that he didn't like anything like that, so I wasn't allowed to mention it. So I didn't. And near the end of his life, right near the end, he was on oxygen, he couldn't really leave the house. I think I slipped up and said, "Oh, I've got church tonight." And he said, "Why are you going to church? And why are you going at night?" And it was, I can't lie, I had omitted the information for a long time. So I said, "Oh, I'm going to spiritualist church," and waited for the backlash. And he just filled with life and went, "I'd love to go. I'd absolutely love to go. Where are you going? Tell me all about it." And my heart broke. All that time that I could have shared that, and I didn't, was really frustrating for me. And I did say, "Sod it, I'll get your oxygen tank in the car. We'll find a way. If you really want to go, I'll carry you in." I didn't, because he was quite sensible and said, "No, it's not a good idea." But I had gone for a really long time. I don't know my mum's motives for telling me not to share this part of my life with my dad. I'm not going to surmise what they are, but it's upsetting that I had a really good link with him and couldn't engage with that, and wasn't aware of it until it was too late. With that in mind, a lot of mediums who frequent spiritualist church, who give readings to the room, are very vague. Very vague. And it is cold reading and very uncomfortable, particularly if you're picking up stuff at the same time and they're not. But they're being really general in their comments to the room. And when you know that most of the people are in there because they've lost somebody and they're desperate for a connection. And I knew a good few people that went, and I knew their backstory, so I would have given them a reading, because it wouldn't have felt true, because I already had knowledge about them, and I wouldn't want them to feel uncomfortable.
Why does that make any difference?
It was the nature of the passing of some of the people.
I thought you meant as in you can't do a reading for somebody you know.
No, you absolutely can. But in that environment, those particular people, and I knew what had occurred.
They're looking for specifics.
They were... No, I think I was just too close to them.
Oh.
And it made me uncomfortable, particularly one young lady that used to go. I knew the person that had passed for her really, really well, and it was tragic what happened. But that's by the by. So a lot that go, I am really uncomfortable with. They feel like they're just giving general answers, and there's no testing, there's no genuineness. Saying that, I've seen a couple that were mind-bogglingly clear and precise, and didn't mess around with I'm getting a man, his name begins with J, does anybody accept a John? Well, pretty much everybody in there would know a John, but they weren't. They were very precise, and the most precise probably the most genuine psychic attended the week I didn't go. And there is a reason why I say that. And that's because what was fed back to me with utter astonishment and validated by other people that went. When my father passed, my sisters were aware that I went to a spiritualist church, and one expressed interest. I've got four sisters, three of them in particular. One wanted to go, one was happy to go along, one didn't really care, but she would have gone along anyway, and one that just wasn't interested at all. So on that particular day when we decided to go, it was shortly after my father had passed. My son had an accident at school and came home with a bumped head letter, which was actually, he had a hole in his head that required treatment, falling in the playground. It was really bad. But I didn't go because he'd had a head injury and I felt like I needed to stay at home.
Okay, I'm just waiting for details. Details?
Shut up. So, this is all integral. This is necessary.
This is when the BBC do a series and they spend 5 weeks doing a backstory.
So, it was really important. These details are important.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Stick with us.
So, he'd had a head injury, so I didn't want to leave him.
Right.
There is a particular piece of information that I will always look for, and then there was another piece of information that I was hopeful would arise that night. Before my father passed, he said that I was to have his wedding ring. There's lots of dynamics around that, but it was all agreed. Everybody in the family knew when he passed I was to get his wedding ring. When he passed, I asked for the wedding ring. He tried to give me it before he died, and I said, don't be ridiculous, I'm not a robber. But I was denied the ring. Okay, another important detail. So that night I didn't go. 3 sisters went, and the psychic, the medium that was doing the reading, said, I have sisters here and we don't look alike particularly. We're very individual and we're stepsisters, half sisters mainly. So she said, I have sisters here, but they're not all here. There was another sister that was supposed to be here and she's not here because her son had an accident at school and he's hurt his head. They did not have a conversation about me at all or anything else. They turned up at the last minute as they ordinarily would and went in silent because it had started, I believe, or was literally starting. So she said there's a sister that should be here that's not here because her son had an accident at school and hurt his head. But you are looking for a parent that has just passed and there is an issue. Can anybody in the room claim this information? And the 3 worrywarts that they were said nothing. They didn't claim the information. So the person went on to say there is an issue about a ring that should have been given and it hasn't. Can anybody take that information? It goes together, and they said nothing. So the person moved on to a different connection. And they came to see me after the meeting had closed and said, oh my God, you won't believe what they said. And I was so cross. 1, because I didn't go. 2, because that was really clear, precise information that they didn't claim. What connection could they have made that they shied away from fear?
I don't know.
So that's sad, but I don't know who the medium or psychic was that night, so I'm hoping one day in the future I cross their path and they help me. I don't know. Anyway, there's a lengthy story for you, but as I said, the details were kind of important because they were what were given back.
Yeah. I suppose. Let you off.
I'm going to shut up now.
No, you ain't. You're the one in charge of the comments.
All right, so
Or has everybody not been commenting? They've just been sat there listening to you, haven't they?
We've all nodded off. Was it like Jack and Ori? I think it was. So, yeah, has anybody been to a spiritualist church before? You'd be surprised how many there are around. Admittedly, everybody closed down during COVID. But
I have no experience with the spiritualist church.
okay.
I have experience with the church and the Baptist church, but not a spiritualist church.
We're not doing...
I have a bit of an issue with any religion that has some form of hierarchy. Is that how the spiritualist church works? How does it work?
It doesn't at all, actually.
Aren't they the
It's
ones
just...
that get divine information from God?
No, it's a really supportive environment. They're generally run in Quaker houses, to be fair. The original one that I went to was run in a Quaker house and then moved to the prison social club.
Okay, locations, details. What do they do?
So, you do a prayer.
Do.
You do a prayer. You do have
Who to?
some... Well, it's a Christian prayer.
So it's to Jesus or God?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Plagiarised.
And there's some hymn singing, but only maybe one, at the most
So where's
two.
the spiritualist bit come in then?
So then there's generally the people that run the church that will they will go through the healing list, and if anybody is a healer, then they read out the list of the people that are on the healing list, and you all focus your healing energy towards those people, and those that choose to pray can pray for them. You don't do it there and then, but they give you the list and they say if anybody wants their name or has somebody that they are close to they want to add to the healing list.
So they would have like tarot readers as well and mediums and...
But they have mediums.
Mediums, but these ones are communicating with Jeebus or God.
No, it's just a general congregational thing.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out why it has to have the church connotation. What's the...
Because people feel that they need to be grounded to a religion.
Yeah, because I don't know of it.
And the belief of heaven, hell, purgatory is linked to Christianity, because in most cases the place that was available for it to occur was a church hall or linked to the church, in which case you had to tip your hat towards the religion to get that place, because generally it's given to you for free, that space, or a really small donation, but there's a tipping of the hat towards that religion. But you don't have to engage with it. You don't have to say the prayer. You don't have to sing the hymns. If you only want to go to see if a reading comes through for you, or to just have a cup of tea and a chat with the other people, like-minded people, you can go for that. They are really lovely people.
Like church?
Yeah.
And you sit down at the end and you've got a cup, the little blue ones, aren't they?
Little cup of orange
So like a little
juice
blue
or a cup
cup.
of tea. I don't know why I mimed it.
I don't know either. But I
hang
just,
on.
yeah.
We have some comments, can't read. No, it's not massively religious. You're
It
right,
sounds
it's
like
not. There is a little prayer. There's maybe a hymn. It's not a really in-depth Bible bashing, full-on Christian hymn. It's
Well, I would hope
generally
not, because
something
God thinks that we're all heathens if you read a
uplifting.
tarot. Or you
There's-
do a mediumship because you're
says
communing with
who?
the devil.
Says who?
Christians.
Right. That's not God. You said God thinks
Yeah.
that you're a heathen. Well, we are heathens because heathens are pagans, and it just
Yeah.
means of the land.
Spiritualist church sounds to me like a little bit of gently, we'll let a few people in gently who have got an ability, but we'll claim it's coming from our God rather than...
They don't claim anything.
No.
They don't. Sometimes
Does it have a book?
they'll do. No,
There's no spirit. So what
No.
book do they use then?
they don't use a book.
So there's no Bibles in there.
There is Bibles in there because it's usually in a church building.
So
But no, they don't give you a Bible.
Oh, right, okay.
They might give you a hymn book or a song book if you want to sing along, but...
But is there a library of like, so you can have like a Wiccan one or a pagan one?
No,
or a
because
heathen
is
one
there
or
a library in the church? No.
So I'm just getting to the point that it's Christian based.
It's in a Christian building.
It follows the Mary, Jesus, God
No.
logic. Well, I'm confused then.
You're trying
Where
really
do they believe
hard.
that they get their divine information from?
They don't. What? They're not getting divine information. They're getting links to the Spirit. It is only links to the Spirit, not Jesus has come in today and he's brought with him Bob. Can anybody accept Bob? That's not what happens.
Oh.
I think it's really gentle. I'm guessing that Marion's put a couple of comments. I'm guessing that you have been twice. It's not particularly religious at all. It's the prayer is to bring everybody together and let everybody feel protected and safe. You know how it works. People want to feel protected.
Yeah, I know.
And to give out thanks, to open up a connection.
So it's a socially acceptable grey area in Christianity.
It's not part of Christianity. They use the Christian building.
And the Christian hymns.
Well, anybody can sing a hymn. They don't have to be Christian. It's a song.
So is it
It's a song that
crucifixes
are
or no
all written down
crucifixes?
in a book.
Crosses,
It's not.
crucifixes?
No,
Oh, so none of that sort of...
no.
Oh.
They do that. They put up a prayer. They might sing a hymn. And then they generally talk about people that to send out healing for. And then they introduce who's going to be doing the readings. And it's a reading to the room. So it's like, for want of a better way of putting it, it's somebody that's on stage that we've all seen on TV, kind of how they work on getting a man coming through and he's sitting in
Well, no, because
with
that's
somebody in
TV,
this
that's
area.
different.
No, I'm explaining, that's the way the readings are done. They're not done one-to-one. They're not formalised. If they come to you and say, I have this information, I've been told it's for you, or it's one of you there and I'm not clear who it is, because that happens. I've certainly experienced that myself, where the energy, I wasn't sure which person it was connected to. And then they ask you if you will accept that information. And you can say, no, I don't accept it. Please move on. And they will close that connection down and move on to somebody else.
I suppose my problem with all this is how I'm going to explain how my brain works in this situation. Anybody else buy bottled water? And you read on the bottle of water, it tells you where it came from. In theory, with a bottle of water, you can walk to the source of where that bottle of water came from. What I struggle with is anything that is derived as a religious construct or a belief construct that you cannot get a clear distinction and view the source. And that's what I was getting at. If the source of it is God and it is Jesus and it's Christ, then fine, crack on. I'm not bothered, but I was trying to figure out where the source of that pipeline is coming from. Hence...
I've got to be honest, and all the time I went, I can't think at any point that they said, and this is from God, and praise to God.
But you know how my brain works. That's why I've got Horus
Yeah.
tattooed on the back of my neck. It's because when I've boiled things down, that's the first thing I could find in the source. Until I started...
Oh, you wouldn't like it.
So it's kind of, it's that.
There's no fixed structure to it. There's no...
I don't mind that.
It's a really gentle coming together of like-minded people. Much like this.
I can't see myself sat in a room full of spiritualist church people?
I don't
feel
think
judged.
they're not churchy.
But they're in a church.
They're not in a church. They're in a church building. So it's generally like we're not sitting in pews in a church. It might be in a Quaker church, but that's not a church.
No.
It's laid out in a circle. To be fair.
Okay.
But it's not a church with a steeple and a spire and all of those
that.
things. They don't make you read out the Bible. You don't have to engage with any bits of it that you don't like. It's really lovely, but the fact that you want an answer and a structure and are willing to push for that, they aren't those kind of people. They're just too gentle.
Well, neither would the Baptists.
And yet everybody contributes when you go
kicked out of
in.
that as well.
That is the same as the church, that you do give a little donation, but to be honest,
Tithing.
that could have been 50p.
It doesn't matter whether you tithe or
But
not.
it's to pay towards the cups of tea and the orange juice.
Oh, give over. The tax breaks can pay for that.
There
Because
is no tax break.
they're a religious
They're not,
group.
They're not.
They don't
Really
have
not.
a charitable fund.
No. They really
So the
don't.
spiritualist church is now a business.
No, it isn't.
So it's
a
a
coming
non-profit
together
business.
of people. It's like us running this discovery circle. If all of you guys were in our house,
Drinking our tea and eating my
I'm going to
biscuits.
say to you, you'll have to contribute because you'll be drinking all our tea and eating all our biscuits.
So it's a non-profit
drinking
contribution. Because we just want to cover the costs.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not a business. You're trying to force it into a
Didn't say
category.
it was forced into a category. If it's a charitable business, then it's still a business, but it's a
Oh, right.
charitable one, isn't it?
Okay, but it isn't. I think we need to change the topic, people. This is very heated. There were people that... Oh, my eyes are gone.
Put your goggles on.
Get to a certain age.
We're
end
probably
up with glasses
overrun.
for
I think we're
everything.
overrunning because
Right, there
we're
were
ranting
people
and
there
debating.
who were obviously not Christian and they were Indian. Fair enough. They might have been Christian, to be fair, because there's quite high numbers of Christian believers in India, not just Hindus and.
Well, I thought when you first started
Buddhists
saying
and
it was quite an open environment for
It is quite an open
an
environment.
eclectic group of
It
spiritual
is.
people.
It's really lovely and really welcoming, and I haven't been for years, but I know if I walk in the door, they'll, hi, how are you? It's lovely to see you, and it's you're welcomed in like in a family. It's really lovely and supportive.
Oh, cool.
But if you go, this is really rubbish and I don't enjoy it, they'll go, that's all right, have a cup of tea, have another biscuit.
You know me. As soon as there's walls, I want to climb over them, get round them,
Yeah, I know.
open the door and see what's.
That's why he's never been taken to one.
That's why I struggle in any construct. I can study my gods, how, and put as much credence into it as I want to, and I'm not putting that on anybody else.
Mhm. Hi Rose, didn't say hi to Rose.
Hi, Rose.
And if any of you, if we haven't said hello to you, it's mainly because our system's quite pants and we might miss your name, or it might tell us 30 times that one person has come in, but it doesn't tell us who everybody is.
There
Because
are a
last
few
week we
debates
had
now.
60 people in,
Yeah.
and we only saw 8 names.
Yeah, we kind of just ignore the viewing things
Yeah, it's not
at the
it's
minute.
not telling us the truth. So, I think Marion agrees with me. That it's
That's
a
fair enough.
lovely
I
environment.
don't aim to offend anybody. Marion's known me for years. Whenever I used to do a dog training session with anybody that had never met me, I used to say it's never my intention to intentionally offend you,
But I will.
but I might do accidentally because I do tend to just say what's in my head, which is quite apparent. I'm sorry if I've offended any spiritualist church people. I was trying to figure out how your spiritualist is the same as my spiritualist, and it's not. But it's fine because the words just get regurgitated over and over and over again.
In
By things
originally
linked
in
to
the
God.
old days, I think it probably was quite heftily linked to Christianity, and then it was seen as dabbling with the black arts. So Christianity stepped quite broadly away from it, hence why it then moved towards, are they the Circle of Friends, the Quakers, who were much more open to different belief systems, and you're not trying to rope anybody in to believe stuff. They're just opening a hall for you, and as long as you put everything back exactly where you found it, they're quite happy.
I'm with you on that comment, Marion. There's the amount of things that's changed in the last 2 years with COVID and people trying to figure out that if they go on Instagram and grow a bit of a beard and some long hair, they can get sponsored by a Viking themed
They can though.
beard oil. Yeah, some of them can, and it's driving me insane because it's the hashtag pagan, it's the hashtag Viking, it's the hashtag Norse, and it's not a hashtag try and flog me some shite I don't need. And that's where, I'm sorry, a tangent here, but this is where some of these pigeonhole boxes of pagan, Norse are now just being absolutely abused online, because all it does is link you now to sponsored adverts or somebody's online shop.
It moves it away from a belief system to
Yeah,
a look.
It's now
This
a
is the way I
marketed
look.
product.
Yeah. I get that. No, Rose, we're not ignorant for not saying hello to everybody. That's it. Ban.
Well, I might be ignorant. We're overrunning a little bit here, but I'm happy to keep going for a moment.
We're overrunning a little bit, but we did have some technical issues at the beginning, and I swear I am deleting the prior video because you've all commented on it.
Shall we delete it or shall we leave it? The blooper reel that ran.
Yeah,
That was quite funny.
us whinging and moaning, then having the little come together.
Right, come on, we've got to do this.
Kiss. Love you. I know, we're weirdos, but clearly if you keep coming back every week, you must be a weirdo yourself or just like watching us. Simple as.
But a little bit of an update from us. I don't know if you guys have seen, but we've now got podcasts. All the weeks we've done been uploaded onto our podcast channel. So you guys can now listen to us in the car while you're driving along.
Yeah, you don't have to try and look at us, although it's
Some of you
probably
might think-
quite fun to poke fun at how we look.
No, some of you probably think, ooh, there's a face for radio. So there you go, podcast.
Not even face for radio, to be fair. But it's quite nice to listen to stuff in the car, and if you wanted to listen back to it, they're all there.
Yeah. So no, we hope you're enjoying it. We kind of say it every week. We hope you're enjoying it. Tonight's been a little bit weird. We've kind of had tangents and debates, but that's what we're like in general.
But
We
I don't want it to
debate
be
stuff.
just my stories. Like I say, I've got tons of stories, and I'll just keep putting them out there. And I had no intention of talking about spiritualism tonight at all. I don't know where that came from.
I don't either.
But
The mention of the word church or that sort of construct, it's like a red rag to a bull. Do you know how many of our people were oppressed by the Christian? No, I'm not in it. Sorry.
have another drink of coffee.
I've run out of coffee.
Oh, that's why then. So, yeah, the podcast, I think it's really good.
Well, it's
We've
there.
cut
It's available.
some of the nonsense off, so some of the us not talking and just trying to get the computer to work. We've learnt now that we can do it at the same time. We can faff and chat at the same time. We need ideas from you guys. And I know that some messages have come in that I haven't picked up, that have come potentially through Messenger.
That's fine. Drop us a message in the week. People do.
Yeah.
And then they'll kind of ask us things, or it will just give us an idea, and we'll just come in here and we just write a note. And so I think, right, oh yeah, if we get a bit of a slot, we'll drop that in.
Yeah.
So, but last week as well, we got
Did you?
over 200 views on last week's video, which is not a big number. I understand
to us,
that,
it's
but
huge.
it's huge to us.
Because that's 200 people linking with what we're talking about. There are so many like-minded people out there, and we're separated. We can't get together. We can't have a spiritualism meeting, not really, but we can't communicate face to face and connect face to face. And connecting through the internet is not the same,
No.
but there's 200 people that wanted to connect with us.
Yeah, so that's good.
It is good. So if you want to listen to the podcast on your drive to work, the details are on the Facebook page. We
We're
did put
frozen on that screen.
Huh?
We're frozen on the screen.
On the computer.
Da, da, da.
It's broken. Yeah, the details are on our Facebook page. And do you know what? Go and have a little look at our YouTube. We put the videos on there as well. It's a tad more reliable than Facebook.
But any share is appreciated. If you
Yes.
share it on your Facebook or your Twitter or just letting a friend know about it. There's so much stuff online now that is really expensive to market. Okay, to give you an indication, Facebook would devour £10 in 5 minutes just trying to advertise or boost this to get us 3 people to watch, and it's too much. We haven't got it, and we haven't got the 4,000 viewers on YouTube. We've got you guys. That's
So
fine
everybody
for
go
us.
to YouTube
But we need
and
it's
hit
kind of- it's
subscribe.
that
You
sort of
don't
logic.
have to
It's-
look for the notifications. Just hit subscribe.
Well, yeah, just follow the page. Just
yeah.
keep tuning in on a Sunday. I am.
We'll be putting some different videos on there. At the minute, we've put a few videos on and we've put the Sunday shares on. But we're going to put some other videos on that aren't going to be available anywhere other than YouTube.
The other reason I'm mentioning this is because we potentially might have to move to YouTube because Facebook is just too expensive.
And it's not working.
I can't afford. I can't keep being a sellable product for Facebook to just keep trying to milk me of money for everything. Because if we don't pay, we
Selling
don't
himself.
feature anywhere.
Send your link?
It'd be
It's
much-
on the Facebook Wiccan Warriors thing page in the More About Us. It is there. If it's not, I will repost it anyway after we come off air.
But yeah, because although this is kind of like the Sunday shares, kind of we'll get together, have a chat about some of the stuff, if the stuff you want to talk about,
Yeah.
the stuff that we've had come up in the week. I also quite liked it when Penny was picking up on things. When you get a good session going and somebody online has got that connection that you had with Anna that last week.
Oh, and Danny.
And Danny, and that is good, and we'll get that as we get more people and sort of involved in things. But yeah, I'm kind of just sort of saying, you guys are awesome. Thank you for watching it. Thank you for
for
supporting
putting
us.
up with us.
And you need to let us know, shall we keep the blooper reel there or shall we delete it?
Oh, the phone's about to die. Dear
The
God,
phone's
right.
about-
We're gonna have to say goodnight, lovely people.
No, it's only gone into low power mode. It's fine. It's because I closed the
No,
laptop.
we're going to have to go anyway because it's
Oh, we've gotta go.
9:15 and people want to go to bed.
So yeah, thank you for tuning in and watching us. Have an awesome week, Warriors.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.